So did you actually try that coffee that you made us?
Not yet.
I'm kind of scared. It looks like a lot of creamer.
It's kind of hard to get from all the way over here.
Oh,
I asked you how much creamer you wanted.
I could see this going really badly right now.
I'm wearing white pants. Just all over your laptop.
That's what your laptop's there too?
It just spills on the keyboard.
I'm going to try this though. I took like a little sip before, but...
Did you? You like it? I like it. This is how I would make my coffee.
Kind of sounds like I'm doing ASMR, but that is a lot of creamer. That is a lot of pumpkin spice, Britt.
Are you saying I have a problem?
You could have a problem. That's how you drink your coffee?
Yeah, like every day.
I'm worried about you.
Hey, me too.
But okay, let's get into the episode. Welcome back to the podcast. This is the Just a Little Shady podcast, episode 11. And if you are watching, you can see that we followed through. Our set is definitely looking spooky. We just had to do it. It's one of our favorite seasons. We talk about it all the time, and it's just, by the time you see this, it'll be October and it's officially spooky season. So, and if you are listening and not watching, definitely at least look at the Instagram. We're going to have a picture of the set, so check it out. And we dressed accordingly.
We did.
I have my
Your bones.
skeleton sweatsuit on.
And then I have, this isn't mine, this is Haley's. I ordered a bunch of Halloween stuff and it hasn't come in yet. I feel like a fraud, but my pocket has skeletons on it dancing. It's Haley's.
It's actually alarming that how much we claim to love the season, and
My favorite.
neither of us had anything to wear, except I did. That's an old t-shirt, so technically I did have.
I know, I was surprised because I used to have a Hocus Pocus t-shirt and I did, and I don't know what happened to it. It's gone now.
Yeah.
Ghosts took it.
So this episode, we're definitely going to do some spooky, shady stories because you guys did come through on that. Some of them were really frightening. So if you like ghost stories, definitely stick around for that. And we're going to start doing a weekly recap. But the last thing in our weekly recap is also kind of spooky. So let's get into that. First, I need to expose myself.
Why? What happened?
Because I had one of those embarrassing... So I've talked about this before on other social media, but when I was leaving the nail salon and she said, have a good trip, because I was going out of town, and I go, you too. And I was like, I'm never going back. It's one of those stupid little moments that you're like, why did I say that? I'm so like, I'm such an idiot. But so it was like that. So I did a mobile order for Chipotle, of course.
Not surprised.
And I did it. And as soon as I did it, I was driving to Chipotle.
Yeah.
And so I get to the drive-through, and the drive-thru's only for mobile orders. So I pull up, and the girl doesn't say anything. She just opens the window. And I'm like, oh, it's for Haley. And she looks on the shelf, and it's empty. And she just looks back at me, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I go to pull out my receipt on my phone, like, no, like, I ordered it.
Yeah.
It says, select a new time. Your pickup time is no longer available.
No.
So it never went through.
So she was probably like, there's not a single order.
Right. So she's just looking at me, and I'm like, never mind. It didn't. Like, I show her my phone. I'm like, never mind. It never went through. And I was like, I'll see you in a minute.
Oh no.
I reordered
Put your
it.
finger up like that?
Yeah. I was like, I'll be right back. And she was like,
Okay.
still not a word out of this girl's mouth. She's just looking at me. I'm like, okay. So I literally had to pull her out and sit in the parking lot until the next pickup time that was available and pull back around.
That's rough.
And the thing is, I did it, like, I didn't do
What
that
do you mean you
again,
did it
but
again?
you know, I get it like every day almost. So I went back next day and
Chipotle.
pretended nothing happened.
Was it the same girl?
No, it wasn't. Thankfully. Honestly, though, she probably at this point would have had to say something and laugh because I clearly have a problem. But why did I hold up the phone to show her? Like, I could just say it. Like,
I swear I do stuff like that all the time, and it just.
Didn't you one time at the nail salon say like "bye everyone" or something like really bad?
Yeah, I was and I think it was the nail salon. I like got up to leave. I paid, and then like.
I don't know why it's so funny, but I could just picture you like it's like in a movie where the character is just like thinking they're the main character. You thought you were the main character
Did, and I
and
literally
needed to say goodbye to everybody in the salon. Like,
hi everyone.
they didn't ask for that.
No, they didn't. I do stuff like that daily. I'm surprised I can't think of more things that happen to me like that. But I'm always just like, no, you know where it was? It wasn't the nail salon. It was Starbucks. Because so I did something similar to you.
Yeah.
Except not with Chipotle. There's like a couple Starbucks near us, and I mobile ordered to one Starbucks.
I've done that.
And I went to another Starbucks thinking that was where I mobile ordered from. So I'm looking for the drinks. There's like, and it was on the weekend, so there's a big crowd there of people like waiting for their drinks. And I was looking around for my drink, and then I go to check my order, and I realized it's for the other location. And I turn around, I see the crowd, like a sea of people. And I go, bye, everyone. And I walked out.
Oh my God.
And if I saw someone do that, I'd just be like, what is going on?
I remember the first time that ever happened to me too, because it was the same feeling of I specifically did not mobile order to that Starbucks for a while because I couldn't face it, because it was one of those things. I feel like every time I get Starbucks, I'm stressed out. Like, I don't know. Like,
wait, what do you mean?
Like, until I have it in my hand and I'm leaving, I'm stressed. You know
get
what I
it
mean?
every day. That's a lot of stress to put on yourself.
No, I took a break. I've been making coffee at home.
Proud of you.
But yeah, it's like that. Like, I just want to get it over with, but I know I need it. It's like part of my routine.
Yeah.
So it's like I dread, like, I just want the coffee in my hand, but I know the process. So I remember the first time I ever did that. So I mobile ordered. It was the wrong location, but that thought never crossed my mind until the first time it happened to me. So I'm in there and I'm getting pissed because, like, I've been standing there for like 20 minutes and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, they really are this. There's no one in there. So I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. Finally, the barista comes over to me and is like, can I help you with something? And I was like, yeah, I am mobile. Like, I pull out my thing to like show the receipt. And I'm like, I mobile ordered this drink 30 minutes ago and it never came. And she's like, oh no. She's like, do you think somebody took it? Whatever. Like, like the whole process was like, she was so concerned. And then she's like, she comes back a couple minutes later because she's like looking through all the receipts. And she's like, are you sure you ordered it to this location? And like, as soon as the words came out, like, it hit me that was a possibility. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I wasted your time. And I just like ran out. But then at that point, I didn't even want to go to the other location to get it. So I was like, whatever. But yeah, it's traumatizing.
It is. I remember being traumatized and then like double, triple checking before I would go pick up my Starbucks.
Yeah. It's not a fun feeling.
Mm-mm.
But there's also been times where I've mobile ordered something and forgot. Like, for example, sometimes I get a plain small black coffee for like a second coffee of the day if I go.
I'm aware of this habit of yours.
And because I'm like, I'm going once. I don't want to like
Yeah.
I don't know. I already made the trip, so I might as well make it
Efficiency.
worthwhile. Then I get 2 coffees in one trip. So sometimes I'll forget if I do that. And there's been times where I've left it, and then in the afternoon, if I was out like running errands, I'll just go back.
And it's still there?
Well, I've called them before, and I've been like, I mobile ordered a coffee and forgot it. Like, I picked up multiple items. Can I come back? And they're like, yeah, it'll be here. And no one takes it 'cause, like, they don't know. You know what I mean? They don't know what's in it. Like, half the time, Starbucks drinks have some weird stuff in it. So people really customize
So
them.
how long does it sit there for?
I mean, I feel like the most I've ever waited was like 2 hours.
Okay, that's not that bad.
No, but like, it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
I think we have a problem.
Probably.
But anyways, and then something else this week didn't really happen, but I've been watching some Netflix. I mean, it happens.
We're not surprised.
Well, I had to start a new show because I am not the kind of person, if we start a show together, not you. Brittany, you sleep and you forget about it. I can't rely on you to start a show. You gotta be fair.
I have nothing to say for myself.
But with anyone else, so like, we used to have a group of friends that we would watch The Bachelor with.
Mm-hmm.
And if we couldn't all watch it together, we would record it and watch it another day. So same thing now, I'm watching Riverdale with Evan, and he was gone this weekend. So I will never be the person that watches it without the other person. I feel too bad. Brittany, what we did was different. And I'm serious. That doesn't count. You're unreliable.
No, I'm not. We started a show together recently, and I really thought we were going to watch it all the way through together. And I didn't fall asleep or anything. We were watching, what was it, like Dating and Related?
Dated and Related. But to be fair, those kind of shows, this is going to be controversial.
What do you mean?
I fast forward those kind of shows. Like, you know how they had The Circle?
Yeah, I love The Circle.
I feel like the narrator sometimes just talks too much.
And you fast forward.
And I fast forward a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not totally invested in those shows. I kind of just like to see what happens, which is terrible. That's a terrible habit.
That is terrible. Is that how you get through these shows so quickly?
No, most other shows. It's only the reality shows for some reason that I feel comfortable doing that. But like, okay, so Riverdale, we're seriously watching. We're super invested. And to not watch it, at least one episode for 4 days, it hurt. But I made it through, and I would never do that. So I had to start something else. And you know I love my documentaries. So I started the Bling Ring documentary.
A lot about this one.
And so essentially what it was, if you don't know what the Bling Ring, it was a group of teens in 2009, I believe. It was in the 2000s. And they would target celebrity homes to rob based off of social media and what would you call it, like news outlets or news media.
Tabloids.
Reporting when these people weren't going to be home. And I don't know if you remember this, but I feel like right when Facebook came out, it was a big thing of like, don't post when your family's going out of town because people might come rob you.
Mm-hmm.
But to do it to celebrity homes is so, you would think, risky because you would think they have security or cameras or I don't know. So these teens apparently did not think it was that risky, and they would go on TMZ or whatever, see where these people were going to be, how long they were going to be gone, then go to their house. And it was crazy because this is going to be kind of a spoiler, I guess, if you don't know like the real life story, but none of them really ended up getting in that much trouble, which was crazy because they robbed Orlando Bloom, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, Audrina Patridge. I don't know if I said that right. And they robbed like so many people. I think at the end of it, it was like 9 celebrities that they had targeted. And in the end, the only thing that got them caught was themselves. They were not getting caught, and they were literally teenagers.
Well, from what you've told me, because I haven't watched the documentary, I feel like they got sloppy with their, their plans and their execution by the end of it.
It wasn't even, I feel like it wasn't even that. They were doing it themselves. And the other crazy part about it was the one Paris Hilton house that they would always target. They said that they literally had a key to her house by the end of it because they found it under the mat, and anytime they knew she was gone, they just went back, and they said they went to her house on multiple occasions. Like, anytime they needed money, like, instead of going to a bank like a normal person would go, they would go to her house.
They went that frequently?
Yeah, that's what they said. They said they went there until all the cash was gone, because she would have, I feel like even if you go out and you have money in your purse and you'll kind of forget that you left it there, like a gift card.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, like you'll forget you put it there. And then when next time you use that purse, you're like, oh, okay. But imagine having 5,000 purses. So she's never really going back and finding this. So she never would notice that they were there. Mm-hmm. So they could just take stuff anytime they wanted and not get caught. Yeah. And the only thing that got them caught on that one in the end is they had somebody else go, because they knew they were going to get caught, and take everything out of her safe, because she had a safe in there too. And from the beginning, they knew not to do that because they were like, that's going to signal to her that someone was here.
Right.
But they were smart enough to do that. And yeah, so they ended up basically ratting themselves out in the end. And the one of the co-leaders was the one who came clean about everything, because even at the very end, the police only were able to connect them to 2 robberies.
How?
Camera footage.
Oh, okay.
But other than that, they weren't going to be caught. And that is my bad. Well, I silenced my phone, but I didn't silence my computer.
Oh, okay.
And they're connected. It was kind of creepy. So anyways.
No, because I could hear it through.
I know. Like, it sounded like it was, like, in a scary movie, like, in the background. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Spooky. Okay, we're done. So anyways, where the hell was I?
They got caught. They caught themselves.
Oh, okay. So they caught themselves, and the one kid spilled the beans because he thought he was getting immunity, but he hired a lawyer who he admittedly only hired based on the lawyer's looks.
Are you serious?
And he said he wanted somebody that looked the part of, I don't know.
What does that even mean?
And so anyways, so this lawyer says to him, oh yeah, so there was actually no immunity deal in writing. I shook the cop's hand. And so,
okay.
So basically he ended up ratting himself and everybody out. He did not get immunity. But in the end, I think the most that any one of them served was a year or something. Something really not that long. 2 years?
16 months.
Okay, so a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the longest that they got. And on the documentary, they were adding up in the corner of, like, each time they admitted a burglary, like, what it would have led to. And I think in the end they were serving like 50 years. And they only got
16 months?
Yeah.
Insane.
So that was a little recap of what I was watching. And then this was the spooky one that came out. And honestly, I couldn't even get through it because I felt like I was there, and I hated every second of it. And the whole time I was just, like, waiting for it to be over. But so the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary, well, I don't think it's a documentary. It's like a reenactment. But it's supposed to be, like, pretty accurate, I guess. And it's out now. And the first episode, I think, is an hour or so long. And I got through, like, 30 minutes, and it's it's more of a movie than anything, at least in this first episode. And it is going step by step of this. It's a reenactment of the last victim's encounter with Jeffrey Dahmer, or would have been victim, but he escaped. So it's pretty accurate because obviously this almost victim escaped to tell his story. So they kind of tried to enact it like that. And I guess the family is saying that's re-traumatizing because, yeah, I could see how it is. Because obviously I felt uncomfortable watching it and, you know, to not even know. But also, so Jeffrey Dahmer had 17 victims. He ended up, it was over a decade he was doing that to people. So this guy was the last almost victim that ended up leading to him getting caught because he flagged down a police officer and showed him his place, because in the enactment, I don't know if this was accurate, but in the enactment there was a stored dead body in his apartment while the other like almost victim was there. So he could easily just take the cops back and be like, no, like literally there's someone here.
So traumatizing.
Yeah. But so everybody always said this guy is a hero.
Yeah.
That made it out and got him caught. But almost 20 years to the day after that day that he got him caught and put away, he is now in jail for homicide.
I want to say I'm surprised, but maybe because of their experience with Jeffrey Dahmer, they were scarred and led to this.
Well, I'm pretty sure he did have a very troubled life after that. I didn't see all the details, but yeah, now he's serving in jail. And it just makes you wonder, like, if that experience never happened to him, would he have been, like, led down that path? Like, it's just really sad. But it's also a spooky show.
You even just talking about it, because we were talking about it a little bit before, made me feel uncomfy. And
the thing is, too, so I have been seeing now on TikTok, because this came out, interviews with the real Jeffrey Dahmer, like coming out, and he literally just talks about what he's done.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. These were old.
Okay.
That I saw, at least. But the actor, which I cannot think of his name, who plays Jeffrey Dahmer in this new docu-series thing. Yes.
I know who you're talking about.
He's from American Horror Story.
The name's going to come to me.
Well, anyways.
I want to say Peter.
I want to say that's probably true.
Really?
But I don't know. So anyways.
I think.
I'm not going to guess because I think you're close. But anyways, so he does such an accurate voice and look and mannerisms to the real Jeffrey Dahmer that it makes it so much worse.
I know who you're talking about because I've seen
Peter Evans.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Yes. I feel so accomplished.
Me too.
So yeah, so that was kind of our little recap, and I think I always get to when we get to this point in the episode, I need a drink.
Mm-hmm. When we get into the shady stories, which this week
we skipped the Ask Me Anything.
We did. So I have another question.
You scared me.
Did I? You know what keeps scaring me? This damn bird that you put right here. I keep catching it from the corner of my eyes.
I thought it was a nice touch.
It is a nice touch, but I keep getting scared. So, this week's Ask Me Anything question was submitted by Halians.
I thought you were going to say by me. I'm like, that's so sad. No, I didn't.
No. Actually, a lot of people were asking about this in the Ask Me Anything, and it's tell me about your hobbies. It was asked different ways, but what kind of hobbies you have?
So, my hobbies have changed a little over time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I typically enjoy eating and drinking.
The good things in life.
But I used to really love drawing, and I feel like now it just manifests in other ways. I think just doing crafts and creating stuff I really enjoy. But now think it manifests mostly in like decorating our house because I don't know. I feel like I don't ever have time to sit down and draw anymore. But I used to really love drawing, and I don't even know if you knew this, but fun fact, in high school, I like submitted my art. Well, I didn't. My art teacher was like submitting my art, and I got an award for my art.
Did you really?
Yeah. But
I love that.
no, so it used to be drawing, and then when I was in college, I also don't know if you knew this, I was doing a lot of sketching of clothes. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to go to Parsons online school. So I went to Parsons for like
Really?
a semester. Yeah. But
Okay,
it was, I know, but it was like a semester thing. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, I feel like it was more of like a passion thing, like a side thing.
yeah.
But, and I always feel like I get questions about like, what would I do if I wasn't doing what I'm doing? I feel like I feel like I would be doing something related anyways because I kind of was heading in that direction. But yeah, those are my hobbies.
I love those.
Thanks. I feel like some of that you didn't even know.
No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't know you won a prize in high school. And I did not know that you were going to potentially, draw up some outfits.
Yeah.
I can see it though because I remember seeing your drawings when we would grow up and you would literally be able to just look at anything and recreate it in a picture. And I feel like it was a lot of SpongeBob back in the day. You would like draw SpongeBob and Patrick, and then I would just color in the lines because I was not that artistic.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of, I want to say it was even in middle school, or it was middle school. We would have drawing parties on like the island counter, and do the bubble letters were like the big thing back then. So we would all draw our names or write stuff in bubble letters. But yeah, those are my hobbies. I don't know. I feel like that's the best I could think of right now.
Those are good hobbies.
Crafty things. I like doing crafty things when I have time.
I like it.
Okay, are we gonna get into the shady spooky stories?
Shady spooky stories. Yes, we have 3 this week. They're all pretty spooky.
Okay, want me to start?
Yes.
Okay. Spooky story number 1. Okay, so this isn't a shady story, but definitely a spooky story. So it goes, when I was about 9, I had an aunt who found this big, nice house in California. It was big enough to fit more than her family, so she decided to have my other aunt and all her kids and her kids' kids move in together. The house was huge, so my family would always be there. We decided to have Thanksgiving there that year, and that's when it began. The morning after Thanksgiving, we woke up to all the plates and cups that were in the cabinets broken on the floor. My aunt accused us, the kids, of playing around, but we knew that none of us had broken them. They cleaned it up and didn't say anything more. But the following day, the barking started. So one of my cousins had a dog, and the dog would randomly bark in the middle of the night at my cousin's 6-month-old baby. When my cousin went to check on the baby was crying, and what seemed to be scratch marks were on her little arms. We didn't know what was going on, and the adults really wouldn't tell us. But then it got even more spooky. So my family had always had a strong faith in our religion, so I assumed they told our pastor what had been occurring in the home, and one day after school, we went to the house, and they had all the doors and windows open. They told us to stay put in one room and to not leave because the pastor had to do something. The pastor went around throwing holy water and yelling at the spirit to leave. I've never been so scared in my life. After that, everything seemed okay for a few days, but then it started again. The barking, the scratches on not just the baby, but now on some of the older kids. All the dishes kept being broken, and my aunts didn't know what to do. So everyone began to move out. Us as kids never really understood why this was happening, especially because we loved being in the big house since we could all play together. One day, years later, I thought about this and decided to ask one of my cousins what had happened or why all that stuff was happening in the old house. And she says the reason that the house was so big was because a couple had built the house to have all of these kids in, but sadly their first child was a miscarriage and the wife couldn't handle it. They wanted to try for more kids, but the wife was never all right again and she went crazy. She would lock herself in the room she had made for the baby and went crazy in there. The husband had to put her in a clinic and sold the house. The wife eventually died, which is where we came in. The pastor had mentioned it was an angry spirit. The spirit was angry that the house was now filled with kids when she, the wife, could never have kids. So she was angry at all of us kids, and that's why she attacked only us. I didn't know what to say, so I just stayed silent and never asked again. I was too scared at the idea of all of this.
I'm just saying. Oh, you look startled.
Is this real?
It's terrifying, but
It's so
I
scary.
believe it because every single scary movie I've ever seen, which is not many because I'm terrified of scary movies, begins with a family moving in to an old, big, creepy house, and that's when shit hits the fan.
I do feel they always say spirits are attached to people or objects. Houses are the main thing I feel like always cause the problems.
Yes.
And I could totally see it. That's just so terrifying that it was such a full circle moment probably when they heard this, because it actually like added up to why was it just happening to the kids.
It was super justified. Like everything about the story, except for the barking dog.
No, it would bark at the baby because there was
Oh,
probably
okay,
spirits by
that
the
makes
baby.
sense. At first, I thought there was something like up with the dog, but that makes sense.
I feel like, did we already say this or not, that if we believe in ghosts?
We touched on it a little bit.
Like, we feel like the more you're open to it and you think about things, you'll see them and you're like welcoming whatever it is.
Yeah.
Energies, like, that kind of thing. So I feel like if we're reading these and we kind of, we believe them. Yeah. So to us, they're real. Yeah, this is really spooky, and it's literally like a movie.
This could be absolutely a movie.
This could be a movie, and it would be a good scary movie.
Oh, I think so. And I think that instead of doing the shady meter, it should be a spooky meter. Yes.
I agree.
And I think this would be a 9.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would have made it worse is like if actually something happened to somebody, you're like, I'm glad they moved out and they were all safe. But I'm going to say a 9 as well.
I'm glad that, once they moved out,
nothing followed them.
Nothing followed them, which is always like the alarming part of any scary movie.
Yeah.
Is when they can't get away from it.
Or like you think they're all like moving happily and then like you see the reflection in the glass or something at the end.
Bad.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So bad.
So 9 out of 10 spookiness.
I love it. Okay. Spooky shady story number 2. I have a spooky themed story. The following experience is what made me start believing in ghosts. I was 15 years old and my mom and I had just moved into a new apartment. Within a month of us moving in, I saw what I am 100% positive to be a ghost. One night I woke up in the middle of the night around 4 a.m. lying on my side facing the wall. I turned around to face the other way and I saw a woman standing there about 3 feet away from my bed. It looked so realistic and so much like a person that it didn't even cross my mind that it was a ghost at first, and initially I assumed it was my mom. But after a couple of seconds passed, I quickly realized it wasn't. The woman was very tall and her head was almost to the ceiling. Her hair was very long and she was dressed in what looked to be white robe. I got scared when I realized what I was seeing and yelled for my mom, hoping she would wake up and come in my room because I was too scared to get up and leave my room. I called for my mom about 10 times when the woman started to slowly move closer to my bed. But she wasn't walking. It was like she was gliding. When she was about a foot away from my bed, she suddenly sunk into the floor and was gone. I then left my room and went into my mom's room crying because I was so scared. The reason I'm so positive that this was a ghost is because I've never experienced sleep paralysis before, and I know I wasn't because I was able to move. I turned around when I woke up. And when I was able to yell for my mom, she confirmed that she could hear me, and I don't sleep talk either. I never saw anything like that again in that apartment. It's been 7 years since that happened, and I have been sleeping with a bright nightlight ever since because I'm still so scared and traumatized from this experience to sleep in the dark. I do not blame them for sleeping with a nightlight because I too would sleep with a nightlight after an experience like that. Because that's like my biggest fear is like sleeping and then like turning around and like seeing something.
Waking up to somebody or something in your room.
It's my number one fear.
Same. I definitely, especially if I'm ever alone, I have to have the TV on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, I need to be able to, if I open my eyes, I need to be able to see immediately.
I am the same way. I like to have noise in my sleep, something going on. I don't know how people sleep with no noise, no TV.
Wait, we have to get into that for a second because I literally me and Evan had a big discussion about I can't fathom the peace that he feels to be able to sleep in silence. I go,
He likes that?
I go, do you not hear your own thoughts? Like, do you not have your thoughts running constantly?
Oh, mine do.
I used to have an industrial sized fan on the floor of my room and I miss it every day. And the only reason I don't have it now is because Evan wants it silent and I want it as loud as can be. So we have compromised to like a not so loud fan.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could, I would have it literally so loud. I can't imagine not hearing my own thoughts when I'm trying to sleep.
I need noise. Like
if
it was up to me.
Because you're thinking too much, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's the thing is like, I want to know, when it's silent, are you not listening to your own voice in your head? Because like I can't shut it off until I'm physically asleep. Like how do you not? I don't know. I could come up with 100 scenarios in my head and go through them all right when I'm trying to sleep.
Oh yeah, same. It used to be so bad. I mean, like it's gotten better since then, but there was a time in my life where I would have my TV on with a movie playing, have YouTube on with a YouTube video, and
have
also
me on FaceTime.
Yes, you on FaceTime with like a podcast going and pay attention to everything all at once.
No, see, that's my thing. I'm not a multitasker. I can't focus on more than one thing at once. But when I'm specifically when I'm trying to sleep, and obviously throughout the day, but you don't notice it until you're trying to go to sleep. And then I'll replay everything in my head that happened that day. And I'm just like, oh my God, I forgot to do this. Oh my God, tomorrow I need to do this, this, and this. I will sometimes pull out my phone and start making notes app. Like, and then he's snoring within 3 seconds of hitting the pillow. And I'm like, what? Are you that at peace?
I was going to say, I'll never know that kind of peace in my life.
Like, I just physically cannot grasp it.
Good for you, Evan.
I know. It's seriously, like, I will expose him right now because last night, because I'm pissed at your peace. Last night.
He's in the other room having no idea.
He perks up. He's like, what? We go to bed and I swear to God, like 3 seconds within his head hitting the pillow, he's snoring. And I go, what the fuck? Like, I'm so mad. And so I'm sitting there like on my phone. And then all of a sudden, and he does this kind of a lot too, he starts sleep talking. He goes, what? And I go, and I don't like that either because that scares me.
Sleep talking?
Yes, when he sleeps talks. Because sometimes there's been times where we've had full-blown conversations and then he wakes up and he's like,
told me that.
What? He'll get pissed at me. He's like, what were we talking about? I'm like, what do you mean?
Tell me. What do you mean?
So anyway, last night he goes, what? And he wakes himself up out of sleep. And then I'm scrolling on my phone and like I knew that's what happened because it had happened so quick, so I like knew what was happening. So I didn't even turn around. I just kept scrolling because I was pissed. And so I'm scrolling or whatever, and he goes, "What are you doing?" Like he actually woke up this time. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I doing?" I'm like, "What are you doing? Sleep talking?" And he was like, I was. And I was like, yeah, you were. I'm like, and you woke yourself. He thought I woke him up, but he woke himself up sleep talking. And then he has the audacity to lay there and go, yeah, I'm having a really hard time sleeping. I go, you were snoring 3 seconds ago. You don't know the struggle. You don't know the true stuff. And then I swear to God, about 3 minutes later, he was back to sleeping.
Is that why you... Before we started, he came into the kitchen and was like, I'm tired. And you're like, oh, you're tired? Tell me about it.
Yeah, because I swear. And he's the kind of person, too, which this just freaks me out, that he could fall asleep anywhere. Like, if he has a chance to, like, he's the kind of person he could just, like, take a little 5-minute nap. For me, there's no such thing. It's all or nothing. I need to put back on my comfy clothes, specifically set aside 30 minutes plus 5 minutes to fall asleep. I couldn't just go lay on the couch and, like, doze away and not set 3 alarms, too. By the way, if I ever plan a nap, there's 3 alarms happening, you know, for the nap to make sure I get back up and I get back to doing what I need to do. Not him, no. It just, kick up my feet. And if it's 10 minutes, great. If it's 5 hours, like he would never know. I mean, he never does, but, like, that's a risk I'm not willing to take. But, like, he's willing to take that risk.
You've thought about this a lot, clearly.
We literally got into an argument about this the other day because I was like, I told him, I was like bargaining with him. I'm like, I need my industrial fan back because I can't sleep.
So this is a recent occurrence.
Yes, this recently just happened because I'm like, I miss my loud fan. And also I used to sleep with it pitch black.
Yeah.
Which is alarming because now I
don't like that.
Yeah, and I think it used to make me sleep so much better. But now I, like, need to, if I open one eye, I want to be able to see clearly. So it's not pitch black anymore, but at least the noise, like, I need something.
Well, you know what makes me
I'm scared where this is going.
This is a simple one compared to your industrial fan problems. Is when I'm sleeping again, I like to have a movie on or the TV on.
No.
Yes, I need it on.
I can't.
And Brian is the type of person that in the middle of the night, if he wakes up, he'll just turn it off. And it makes me so mad every time because then I'll wake up later and it's not on and I'm scared. I don't know what's going on. And I know it's him.
I would hope so. Who else would it be? Oh my God.
I don't know. Back to the story.
So is this the story you meant to put? I was going to say that, but I didn't want to call you out. I thought you were going to put the one about the girl who was hiding in the...
No, I think that's going to be next week.
Okay. So next week, tune in to hear about a girl hiding. So this one is not spooky.
What?
It's not.
When I read this to you earlier, you go, this is scary. She saw a ghost.
Oh
she turned around. What did you think we were talking about?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I'm wrong. That's the only time you'll ever hear that I'm never wrong. Okay, let me
reassess.
Yeah, because I thought this was the one that was related to your situation.
No.
Okay, so Shady spooky story number 3.
We didn't do the Shady meter on number 2.
Oh my God, we went off on a tangent that long?
Yes.
You guys, I am so sorry.
Anyways, I
was really passionate about the last subject.
I can
for no reason.
I need to name the bird. Okay, wait. Comment down below. Sorry, this is a tangent. What we should name the bird because he's gonna be my little friend for the next month. So if you have suggestions for the bird's name,
I mean, could be really basic like Raven, but I'm sorry. Just you guys do it. You guys are more creative than...
Something will come to me.
Okay.
But anyways, I think that Shady Story number 2 was like a 7.5. No, 8. Because this actually, I did say this is my worst nightmare.
I would say this is a 8 too. It was like a one-time occurrence, so... Mm-hmm. But also terrifying,
Mm-hmm.
traumatizing. Okay, so now can I do?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Halloween themed shady story.
In all caps.
That's the title. A few years ago on Halloween, I was hanging out with my cousins and friend as we were having a girls' night. Last minute, we decided to go to a Halloween party that we had been invited to. We all throw costumes together, and I call my boyfriend so that he can meet me at said party, but no reply. Once we were all in our poorly put together costumes, we head out. Again, I call my boyfriend, but no answer. He had said earlier that he was just going to be with a friend since I was having a girls' night. As we arrive to the party, I try once more to call him to tell him the address and invite him. No answer. We all walk in, and the first thing I see is my boyfriend playing beer pong with another girl as his partner. I was furious. His face dropped like he saw a ghost. I'm sure my face was a lot scarier than any Halloween mask that night. He hurried to greet me and tell me that he had just arrived and was planning on calling me to tell me about the party. Very shady of them. I truly believe if I had not gone to that party, he would have never even mentioned him being there. Brittany, this wasn't spooky.
It was Halloween based. However, we had to keep at least one playa
Yeah.
shadiness to our stories.
I agree. So this one's going to be a shady meter, not a spooky meter.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this has happened to like everyone before.
Oh, yeah.
But definitely shady. But she didn't catch him doing anything. Like they were just
That's
playing
true.
beer pong. So, but the fact that he didn't tell her and was just there and wasn't answering, like,
And was
red
supposed
flag.
to be with his friends, just having like a chill night.
Red flag. Red flag. But I feel like this wasn't that bad.
No, could be worse.
I want to know, like, did they stay together? Was she like that upset about it?
What was his costume? What was her costume?
She said they were poorly put together. That's the biggest shady part of this story. I would say this is like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Maybe even a 4. Nothing happened. Like, she just went and he was there too.
I'll say a 4.5.
Okay. My final answer is a 4. But
Drama.
that's it for this episode.
That's all.
That concludes our first spooky episode, and make sure you keep submitting your spooky shady stories. In the description of the video there is a link to the Google form. There's also still the Google form for the AMA, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.